What's up guys, today I'm going to be going over my personal top 5 reasons why I love and keep coming back to Smite despite its issues. Speaking of, there will be a video coming soonish of 5 things that make me hate Smite as well, but the good vastly outweigh the bad for this game, which is why I love it so much. So these aren't going to be in any particular order or anything. Also, sorry if my voice sounds a little bit croaky, I think I'm going down with a cold, but let's get right into it. Number 5, the lore and mythology basis. While plenty of games like the Elder Scrolls series or League of Legends, based almost entirely in fiction, have awesome lore and stories to tell, Smite really grabs my attention with the grounded theme of basing characters, items and abilities around real-world mythos and legend. The fact that tons of cool gods and beings from all over the world can come together in this game is really cool. And when I first started playing and recognised a handful of gods, it was so awesome to have that connection to the game right off the bat. This also makes for excellent theories and predictions about new gods, items and abilities before they actually come out or even before they're announced, which is awesome for hype and bringing people into the game. It's also pretty cool to see Titan harnessing the lore a little bit as well now, creating their own stories with it, like with the recent Hera's Odyssey that shows like the interactions between gods from various pantheons that isn't present in typical lore for these gods. It adds something new beyond what already exists, which I really like a lot. Number 4, the relic system. This one's pretty simple. Mostly I like the wide variety of relics that exist and that see play. Where in League, for example, everyone buys Flash pretty much no matter what, with a few exceptions. And beyond that, there is some variety, but nowhere near what Smite has in terms of relic diversity. At least currently anyway, a majority of relics see regular play, and there are 14 that exist, all with upgrades that add even more complexity and counterplay to them. Since as you get later into the game and you get those additional effects, for example if the enemy upgrades their shell, you know you now have to play around the fact that they might have block stacks that they didn't have before. Sunder and Meditation are pretty much the only two I can think of right now that aren't picked up regularly. Excluding Curse and Phantom and stuff like that, of course, because they're meant to be rarely used but extremely effective counters to very specific situations. And it's okay to have certain relics like that. Odin without a counter check in Phantom would probably just run the game a lot of the time, so having a lot of these like general purpose relics that are good in most games like Beads, Blink or Shell, it's also healthy for the game to have certain counter pick relics for certain situations. While relics within roles are somewhat stale, like most squishies buy Beads Aegis and most junglers buy Beads Blink, there is a variety across classes and somewhat within classes as well, which really enriches the Smite experience in my opinion. Number 3, the third person camera perspective. Yeah, I'm sure it's no surprise to anyone that this is something that draws me to Smite. It's one of the features Hi-Rez touts the most when they're trying to sell the game, and for good reason. I think a good portion of Smite players tried the game out purely because they didn't like the top-down perspective of every other MOBA at the time, and wanted something more akin to an action game in terms of camera perspective, but with the deep aspects of a MOBA like items, many characters and maps, etc. This aspect in particular was a large part I think of why I got hardcore into Smite back in the day. Coming from a background of mostly first and third person action or role-playing games, and basically no like RTS and top-down style games, it allowed me to grasp the basic mechanics of Smite, much easier than something like League that I had tried before getting into Smite, but it never really clicked for me. The third person camera perspective is definitely one of the defining features of Smite, and for me it's something I'm glad still exists to this day. Especially with Paragon and Gigantic out of the scene, Smite is the only MOBA of its kind, so it's more important now than ever. Number 2, the emphasis on skill shots. This is simple, but that doesn't mean it's not an incredibly important reason why I love Smite. The fact that more than 99% of abilities in the game are skill shots adds so much to the game in my opinion. Personally, I really don't see the appeal in auto-aim skills despite the popularity in a lot of MOBAs. And with the way Smite does it, it makes the few non-skill shot abilities in the game, such as Neithel or Chiron 2, much more special and more impactful. It also really enhances the juking aspect that is so fun in Smite. The fact that you can dodge an entire god's kit just by playing well adds another layer of skill to Smite. While it does potentially elevate movement speed a little too high, I think it's a worth trade-off to have in the game in my opinion. And finally, the number 1 reason why I love Smite, the variety. This is a more general thing, and by variety I mean in all facets of Smite. The item variety, the god variety, even the game mode variety. Having so many different gods, items and builds to try out in a variety of different game modes just makes it so no two games of Smite are ever the same. The odds of even getting a game with the same gods is ridiculously unlikely, and while there are obviously gods you're going to see a ton and gods you'll only see rarely, that's just the nature of a MOBA. It's fine to have some gods that are on top for a while and some gods be underrepresented for a while. What's important is that this changes regularly enough for the game to not feel stale. In other words, it's fine to have OP gods, what's more important is that the OP gods change on a regular basis. But back on topic, having all this variety means even if you get a bad game, you can rest assured that the next one will probably have different players, different gods, different builds, and probably won't go the same way. This is a big reason why even if Smite is in a bad place and I get super tilted after a loss, I usually want to play again after an hour or so. But that's about it for this one. Let me know your guys' reasons for liking Smite and whether you're new to the game or a beta veteran that just can't stop coming back. Also keep an eye out for the top 5 reasons I hate Smite coming soonish, where I'll discuss some of the things that definitely need improvement in the game. But that's it for now. Catch you guys later. Peace out, you nerds.